This week isn't just big, it's game-changing. General Hospital.
General Hospital episode recap. March 13th, 2026. Sidwell's dinner party ends in bloodshed, and nothing will ever be the same. Port Charles has seen its fair share of scandals, betrayals, and shocking deaths, but nothing could have prepared viewers for the chilling elegance and devastating chaos that unfolded on March 13th, 2026. What began as an opulent dinner party at the Sidwell estate quickly spiraled into a nightmare soaked in suspicion, silence, and death. By the end of the night, 2 lives were lost, trust was shattered, and a sinister truth began to claw its way to the surface. The calm before the collapse. From the very first frame, something felt off. The Sidwell estate gleamed under soft golden lighting. Crystal glasses shimmered. A live string quartet played delicately in the corner, their music floating like a fragile illusion of peace. Every detail was perfect, too perfect. Guests arrived dressed in their finest, unaware they were stepping into a carefully constructed trap. And then it happened. A moment so subtle it could have easily been missed. As the sommelier poured the first round of wine, Harrison Sidwell made a move. Barely noticeable. A flicker. A switch of 2 glasses before they were served. 2 seconds. That was all it took. But it was enough. Viewers caught it. Fans online erupted instantly. Theories spread like wildfire. He poisoned the wine. They were right. Just not entirely. Reginald Ashworth, the first victim. By the time the first course was served, tension had already begun to simmer beneath the surface. Reginald Ashworth, Port Charles's aging elite and a man with far too many secrets, wasn't himself. At first, it was subtle. A loosened tie, a shaky breath, a forced laugh to brush off concern. Seated across from Monica, Reginald tried to maintain composure, but his body was betraying him. His hand trembled as he reached for water. His face drained of color. And then, he collapsed, face first into his soup. The moment was filmed with haunting precision. The music didn't stop. The candles continued to flicker. Time seemed to stretch into something unbearable. And at the far end of the table, Ava Jerome watched. Silent. Still. Cold. She didn't scream. She didn't move. She simply lifted her wine glass and took a slow, deliberate sip. Chaos erupts. The illusion shattered instantly. Chairs scraped. Voices rose. Panic exploded across the room. Call 911. Brooklyn's voice pierced through the chaos as she scrambled to react. Monica was already moving, her instincts sharp from years in emergency medicine. Within seconds, she was on the phone with General Hospital. And Harrison Sidwell? He delivered a performance worthy of applause. Rushing to Reginald's side, he dropped to the marble floor and began CPR, his face a mask of urgency and concern. Anyone watching might have believed he was trying to save a life. But some eyes in that room weren't so easily fooled. Because while all attention centered on Reginald, something far darker was unfolding just out of sight. The second death no one saw coming. Theodore Vance had quietly excused himself minutes earlier. A headache, he said. Nothing serious. No one thought twice about it, until Willow stepped into the hallway. She had taken a call, something urgent, something personal, and as she turned the corner, her world stopped. There on the cold marble floor, Theodore lay face down, motionless, gone. The scene was stripped of all dramatic flair. No music, no sudden sting, just silence, and the faint echo of the string quartet drifting in from the dining room. Willow froze. Her hand rose to her mouth, her eyes wide with horror as the camera slowly pulled back, revealing the full weight of what she had found. 2 men, 2 collapses, 2 very different deaths. And suddenly, this wasn't an accident. This was something far more deliberate. Ava Jerome knows. If there was one person who understood exactly what was happening, it was Ava. And she didn't waste time pretending otherwise. Later, as paramedics swarmed the estate and police began securing the scene, Ava called Harrison Sidwell aside. Her voice was calm, smooth, dangerous. "Was this the plan?" she asked softly. "Or did something go wrong?" Sidwell said nothing. But in Port Charles, silence speaks louder than any confession. Their exchange lasted only seconds, but it shifted everything. Ava wasn't shocked. She was calculating, and that made her more dangerous than anyone else in that room. The photograph. As the episode edged toward its final act, Ava slipped away, into the kitchen, away from the chaos, away from the questions. There, something caught her attention. We don't see what it is. Only her reaction. Measured. Intent. She pulled out her phone and took a photograph. Carefully. Deliberately. Then she tucked it into her clutch and walked back out, composed, unshaken, ready to give her statement. Whatever she captured matters. And Ava Jerome never documents anything unless she plans to use it. Michael and Willow. The breaking point. Amid the horror, another story quietly shattered. Michael arrived at the estate after Willow's frantic call. She needed him. She was shaken, terrified, overwhelmed. But his first instinct? Not to comfort her, not to hold her. He stepped away and called Sonny. Willow watched him go. The look on her face wasn't anger. It was something far worse. Resignation. The kind that comes when you realize something fundamental has changed and can't be undone. Later, outside General Hospital, as the victims were rushed inside, the tension between them finally surfaced. "This is exactly why I said we shouldn't have gone," Michael said. Willow turned to him, her voice quiet but cutting. "You're already making this about being right." And then she walked away, leaving him standing alone. Sometimes the smallest moments leave the deepest scars. Inside General Hospital, a deadly discovery. Back at the hospital, the stakes only grew higher. Dr. Elizabeth Weber Baldwin led the medical team, her usual confidence shaken by the scale of what they were facing. Reginald was barely alive, his body fighting to recover from massive cardiac trauma. But Theodore? There was no saving him. As tests were rushed through the system, answers came quickly, perhaps too quickly. Toxicology revealed something chilling. A rare compound, a synthetic cardiac inhibitor, not available in the United States. Not legally, which meant one thing. This wasn't random. This wasn't imported chaos. This was personal. Elizabeth stared at the results, her expression shifting as the truth settled in. Then she spoke the line that changed everything. "Someone in this hospital has access to this drug." A pause. A breath. This didn't come from outside Port Charles. Cut to black. What it all means. By the end of the episode, the pieces were scattered, but the picture forming was terrifying. Reginald Ashworth is alive for now, but his recovery will be long, painful, and filled with questions. If he wakes up fully aware, he could expose everything. Theodore Vance is dead, and with him, secrets that may never be recovered, unless someone else already knows them. Ava has evidence. We don't know what it is, but it's powerful enough for her to protect or destroy someone. Elizabeth has confirmed an inside connection. The killer isn't some outsider. They're here, in Port Charles, possibly inside General Hospital itself. And Harrison Sidwell? He walked away. No arrest. No charges. Just calm, controlled confidence. Because whatever happened that night, he's still playing the game. The beginning of something much bigger. Port Charles has seen tragedy before, but this feels different. This wasn't just a shocking twist or a dramatic death. This was a carefully orchestrated event. A test. A warning. Or maybe just the first move in a much larger plan. Because if two people can die in a room full of witnesses, if poison can be delivered without detection, if the answers lead back to the very place meant to save lives, then no one is safe. Not at home, not at dinner, not even at General Hospital. And as the dust begins to settle, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning.